Well, it's the Gallop TV preview show for Derby Day, featuring a whole host of other feature races, and really nice to have Joe Soma on the line. Of course, he's got runners in two of the feature races, and let's welcome Joe. Joe, you know, through my close relationship with you over the years, but obviously to Dylan and Marlon and Sivan and Gabby and all the boys, I must compliment you on finding that horse for the season. You never cease to not find a horse that competes at the highest level. And firstly, I just must compliment you for that.
Thank you very, very much for your kind words, Deez. And welcome to all the listeners. I hope they're well. And congrats to the two punters from Hollywoodbets cleaning up on Wednesday. But Deez, it's always been, I've been very blessed to have had a good horse every year to compete, especially from a small string. And I just hope it goes to help all the other chaps that have got small strings, that it can be done. Just keep believing in yourself. And there's nothing wrong with taking on the big boys and beating them. It can be done.
Okay, let's get straight into it. We'll begin with the HS Oppenheimer horse Chestnut Stakes over 1,600 meters, where you got the talented Red Saxon in the race. We know what he's done as a 3-year-old, and really nice to see him now blossom as a 4-year-old, because of late he's getting us, the punter, excited.
Yeah, thanks, Deez. He's been a super horse to train. Been very, very blessed to have a horse like this in our string. A cheap horse as well that we bred ourselves, but not fashionably bred. In saying that, Deez, he's been very consistent from day one. Unfortunately, he never took to the Natal weather or the Natal season, where he never ever settled down at Summerveld, was always on his toes, sweated a lot in the mornings. If you take those runs away, he's been very, very, very consistent and very talented. I fancy him to kill tomorrow. Unfortunately, we have to contend with the 10 out of 10 draw. If he was drawn 1, 2, or 3, I would really tell the listeners to have a good bet. But in saying that, we have to respect the draw. His prep has gone exceptionally well. He has improved from his Hawaii Stakes run, where, as we turned for home, Samanga set him alight, and he fought back all the way down the straight, which was very, very pleasing. In saying that, I wouldn't leave him out of anything. I'm expecting a great run from him, but there are one or two horses that I've got the utmost respect for, and I'm going to start with the two Cape Raiders, the ex-Cape Raider Golden Ducat, now in Mark the Cock string. I think that he's very, very talented horse. I think that, after his tendon injury, I think that he took a couple of runs to come well. I thought his last 2 runs were very pleasing, and I've just got a feeling that he'll enjoy this long Turffontein straight. There's no doubt that I would definitely add him in my play. And then the other runner that I found on form is number 5, Trip of Fortune. The reason why I say that, the Cape runner, if you look in the wet, he ran 4 times and he's won 3 races. So if you watch this horse going down in a lot of his starts, he's very, very thick. He goes down short. You can definitely see, and what we have heard from the Bass Robinson stable, that he has had a lot of hoof problems. So with the game being going to be perfect tomorrow, because we had some rain overnight, the going is going to suit the horse like this tremendously. Those are the class packages in the race. But in saying that, I cannot leave out the top 3-year-old Anfield's Rocket. Super horse, very, very talented, unbelievable. Win his last start where I didn't think he could win it. One of the few horses in my lifetime that I've seen win a 1,000-meter race, and a few months later win over 1,800 meters.
Sure.
You have to respect that kind of talent with the horse, and I think he's a big runner. And obviously the filly in the race, Under Your Spell, who beat Red Saxon last time, a kilo worse off, but she did win with maybe a little bit in hand. Those are the 5 horses in the race. Very hard for me to pick out one horse. because I wouldn't like to tip against my own horse. But the winner will come from one of those 5 horses in the race.
Well, I don't know if you took much notice when they priced up. They priced your horse up at 10-1. That's been snapped up. It's now 8-1. 8-1, reading in between the lines, still looks a bit generous.
Yeah, you know what, geez, Antipost, there was 14-1.
Yes.
Red Saxon, I started taking some doubles with. I didn't believe that he was ever a 14-1 shot in this field. I think 8-1 is still good value, very, very good value, and nothing wrong with taking some doubles onto the places, the first 3 with Red Saxon at that price as well.
Then let's move along to the World Sports Betting SA Derby. It's a Group 1 over 2,450 meters. I'll tell you, I had a very interesting conversation with Sean Terry. If you have some time, maybe when these interviews are aired, just listen into it, Joe, because I'd like to pick your brain on the same thing. And I mentioned to him that with these young horses, these 3-year-olds, now they're going over ground, which is a distance that's unknown for almost the entire field, one could say. I asked him, I said, how much can one really read into their ratings when they go this trip at this stage of their careers?
Geez, I believe ratings are ratings. I don't think that horses that are 28 kilos out at the weights can win it. If they do win it, then our handicapping system is completely out of sync. It's possible that they can win, but I will be very, very surprised if a horse from the Derby trial wins the Derby tomorrow. I will be very, very surprised. That's my personal opinion. I've been wrong lots of times in my life, and it won't be the last time I'm wrong. But if you look at the ratings itself, and you look at and you study the form of the race, there's a perfect line horse in the form of African Torrent. When he met Billy Bowlegs 2 runs ago, he was 7.5 lengths behind them at level weights. He met Son of Raj, his next race in the Derby trial. He was 3.5 lengths behind. So that makes Son of Raj 4 lengths behind Billy Bowlegs, who no doubt in my mind is the lion horse in the race and is the horse to beat on his last 2 runs. Especially his run in the Classic, drawn 14 out of 16, and I thought was an absolute outstanding run. If you look, the 800 is 8 lengths behind, and at the 400 he's just about hit the front. So if they ride him a little bit more patiently, there's no doubt I think he's definitely the horse to beat. And in saying that, I respect all the other SA Classic horses that contended in that race to fight it out. Obviously, Eye of the Prophet got interfered with in a crucial stage of the race when one of the horses unfortunately broke down. So that I respect was running on nicely as well. Our horse, Rule by Force, funny enough, I make him a big runner as well. I'll tell you why. In the Guineas, he was too far out of his ground and ran on very, very strongly. And in the Classic, he was too close to the pace where all the winners and the placed horses came from far back. So with Pierre Stradom on, drawn 2, I think that there's no doubt in my mind he'll stay. I think that he could be a massive value for money. I think he's at 12-1 or something, 14-1.
14-1,
and then a horse like Electric Gold looking for the ground as well. Definitely a big chance as well. And the horse that all might have to beat is obviously number 5, Good Counsel. The only horse who's gone distance, and when he has gone the distance, he's won very, very well. I mean, he did beat the older horses in the Equinaut the last time, and he beat it very well. I think he's the true out-and-out stayer here with class. I know the other horses ran Son of Raj and everything else, have won over the distance, but he definitely looks the runner that's beaten the older horses over 2-4, and I think that he's definitely the horse to win, with the biggest danger being Billy Bowlegs, and for the quartets I would add in 2, 3 and 4.
Some nice information there from Joe Sommer. Joe, if you don't mind, I'd just like to pick your brain on the other feature on the day, race number 8, and then just maybe give us an overall thought if there is a pick six banker, where can we go short? Just briefly, Joe, but let's go to race number 8, because there is a runner in the race that you obviously know and that you've won with, called Lady of Power. How do you assess this race, the Oaks?
Look, Lady of Power was a super filly. I loved her to death, and unfortunately, when she was sold, it just never worked out between the owners and myself. These things happen in racing. For the horse, I would love to see her winning, and at the end of the day, we are in the game for the horse, and we leave people on the sidelines. So I'll be I'll be the first one to be very, very happy that she wins, because she's very, very talented filly. In the race, 1 and 2 are to be respected alongside number 3. I think they're all big runners, but I found a horse here that I'm bankering on the day. I make it my best bet of the day, in the form of number 6, Silver Hills, Sean Terry's filly. If you look at her last run in the Fillies Classic, she was drawn 10 out of 11. Came from 3-4 lengths behind them. Fought on all the way through. No doubt the filly that I see is going to appreciate the extra 600 meters of the race. So for me, banker of the day, Silver Hills. Dangers could be, I never mentioned number 5, none other. And as I said, 1, 2, and 3 as well. But I'm bankering Silver Hills. And earlier on in the day, if I can just jump the gun a little bit, these two race 5.
Go for it.
I made another good bet on the day, Quantum Theory.
Yo, baby!
I make this very, very hard to beat. I try to look for a horse that could run a half a length to William Robinson over 1160. And unfortunately, I can't find one. If you looked at number 1, Mercantile, when he did meet William Robinson, he was nearly 5 lengths behind. So for me, probably the best bet of the day. If you ask me for one horse to back on the day, I will certainly say Quantum Theory, and I would be taking doubles with Silver Hills in the Oaks.
11-2 and 13-2. Joe Soma, you put a smile on my dial, and I can see it to all the guys that are listening in. That is tremendous value and confident with 2 horses that he's going to take a chance with. And he's suggesting that if you are looking for bankers and you're looking to play with a limited budget, those are the 2 horses to go for. Race 5, Quantum Theory. And of course, in the Oaks, he is going with 6, Silver Hills. That will be race number 8. Always an absolute pleasure, Joe, and we thank you for your time. We thank you for your input. And of course, thank you for your friendship as well.
Thank you, Tees, for being so supportive of me over many, many a year. And to all the punters out there that for their best wishes when we win a race, when they see me at the race course, thank you very much for just being so kind. And I'm going to stop talking now because I want to get on this double before anyone else. And I've already given everyone head start. But thanks to everyone. I hope it's a great day's racing, and keep going, chaps. All the best.
Well, I'll miss you there, Joe, on Saturday. Not going to be there, unfortunately, but break a leg and all the best.
Thanks so much, Deez. Have a good one.
Thanks to Joe Soma, lending his thoughts on Derby Day, the 1st of April.